We've talked a lot about this. What we're going to do is we just want to share with you what our paying clients are receiving. And ideally, we're going to get through this mess together. We're going to come out stronger, and we're going to be able to assist one another in a very positive way when this is over. Whitney is one that tracks the ticker tape, and she's always looking at the percentages and where people are and how they're spending their time. So I want you to address that, Whitney, before we get into some of those tips that we're giving our clients this week.
Yeah, so last week we kind of talked about how there was a major dip in page traffic and engagement. And that was because we were almost as if we were on vacation with our friends. You know, when you first go on vacation, you're like, oh, let's hang out with our friends. We love them. Everybody else needs to go away. We're just in our happy little bubble. And now we're over it.
We went coming, even better to see them going. Okay.
Yeah, we're over it. We're done with our friends. We had a good few weeks of doing word puzzles, you know, with the stupid little witch and the broom. We're done. Don't show me another word puzzle. I'm over it. I don't want to do math. I want to go out to eat. I want to go have a drink. That's kind of where people are. So now people are looking back at their businesses, and a lot of community initiatives have helped this with page engagement, supporting your local businesses. So now we are actually at a high for 2020, pretty much across all industries. There are still some that are a little bit behind, but for the most part, everyone is getting involved in businesses and looking to see what you're doing. So if you are, even if you're closed, you need to be on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, just talking. And, you know, we've really seen an increase in engagement, but we've seen a decrease in frequency of posts. We're really focusing on quality over quantity. And that's really the algorithm. The algorithm is going to show the same post to more people. So if you focus on creating quality pieces, we used to sit at 4 to 5, pretty much across all industries, on how many posts per week. Now we're down to 3. So really focus and hone in on your content and make sure you're still delivering, but just be authentic. Go ahead.
Now, I was surprised to hear you say this week, we were talking with a client, a college, and they typically try to reach their students a couple times a day. And you shared with them the need to cut those posts back for efficacy. But what about the amount of tweets now? People are really wanting that timely info, and they're wanting it, you know, almost not real time, but geez, you talked about like 8 to 10 times a day.
Yeah, well, Twitter is kind of its own beast. The feeds move so quickly that you almost have to, it requires almost constant attention. So when I say frequency, I'm really talking more. Instagram has always been that way, even more so now. Facebook, there was an old rule, once a day. And I think we drilled that into clients' heads so much that now we're having to reteach everyone that it really just depends on your audience. And that's what we watch every day, every week. We report to clients at least once a month on this. So, but we are 3 times a week, set a goal, and just make it count.
How about money? You know, before we would, and let me tell you a little side story. We had clients at the very beginning who would say, hey, I'm spending thousands, several $100s on this particular post. And once we jump in there and we look at this activity, we're like, why? You're really wasting money. I'm sure that Facebook appreciates it. You know, we think we should take your money and maybe share the love, share the wealth on, you know, Instagram or some of these other platforms. Right now, it seems like you're really interested in doing more Insta stories for our clients, which that's a whole other discussion, vertical phone versus horizontal phone. What is it that we're encouraging our clients to do in the way of buys right now, Whitney?
It really just depends on your market. The number one thing with any advertisement, digital advertisement, is narrowing your audience. obviously that's going to return, that's going to give you a higher return if you are feeding it to people who matter, who care, who are actively searching for you, or searching for something relevant to you. So being able to spend time finding those people, finding those audiences, segmenting your message. So it is not unlikely to have multiple ad sets that say the same message. And you really need that, because what I respond to is not what you're going to respond to. So we have to keep in mind our audience segments, and those days of just being able to boosting a post is not recommended. Any kind of broad-based advertisement where you're doing 18 to 65 plus, because that's the default, it's not going to get you the ROI that you need. It might give you a little bit of a boost, but nothing that really matters when you go to do your measurements and the money isn't there. There's no return.
Consider this. If we don't need to boost posts to be as competitive as we were before, what about taking that money and using it towards a quality production? And we're doing production quite differently now. We're relying on a lot of the clients to feed us content, and we can have a ton of fun. We could actually have some posts and some creative that will go viral. We had one post in particular that involved a lot of animals. We've often said that our elderly population, animals, and babies, that's going to go viral for you faster than anything.
Yeah. Now there are TikToks. So obviously it's a whole channel itself, but sharing those, I'm sure everybody who's scrolled through Instagram or Facebook have seen TikTok videos on other channels. They're fun. They get attention, and people like to watch them. So back to stories, it's all about entertainment. So, and actively trying to get people to engage. So a story with a poll, that would work well. If people are looking at stories on Facebook and Instagram, use it. It's just as easy to post there as it is on your timeline. So use it.
Yeah, that's a really great idea. And, a couple of things we want to hammer home. If you have your pen and paper, write it down. Sometimes just seeing it in the written word empowers you in some way. You have to stay consistent. If you were very much involved and in tune with your audience pre-COVID, get busy, reaching out to them again. It's important. People are desperately in search of normalcy. That's what we want right now. As a matter of fact, some of these influencers, their numbers continue to rise because people wake up and they go in search of them. They want to hear and see these people and what they have to offer. We want you to be disciplined. Work on your business. We have to take our own advice. I actually sent a client an email this morning saying, hey, I've been asking all of our clients to make sure your website is on point. Make sure your social media channels look like they should. Make sure that if you have a digital presence, that it's solid and we know that the analytics are there and it's performing for you. Let's be lean and mean and know exactly what we're doing and where we're investing our money. It's time to ask for those recommendations. If people would come back, imagine with 5 stars from all your clients or people that you've assisted, that's going to be important. And just stay focused. Stay focused and do all of these things because you owe it to yourself. For this moment in time, you are investing in you are investing in your business. And let's come out of this COVID cloud, I've said it before, swinging and empowered and stronger. And let's ensure that we look better because we were given that little moment. We can look at it like this every single day. Can you imagine had life continued? Many people wish that it would have, but continued in the rat race that we were in. There was never a time to look at what you look like from the outside looking in. And now you've got time. So you need to assess and reassess those things and ensure that you have your best foot forward.
Yeah. And just building on fundamental principles for marketing and business development. Look at if you're closed right now or you've scaled back, take the time to set a strategy. Who are you? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to reach out to? Now is the time that you can really hone in on the data and look back and reach out to those people who helped you get where you are today. Ask them for reviews, but be sensitive to the topic. You know, if you're reaching out to a business that's closed right now for a review, just be sensitive.
Sure.
But it's really a great time to reevaluate. You know, when you are in the everyday rat race, it's very easy to lose sight of your values and your building blocks, because you're looking at the latest and greatest thing. So it's nice to step back, reevaluate your business, your goals, and probably some of your team members and your staff. You know, let's get them trained, get them engaged. You know, the appreciation for jobs right now, everybody should appreciate that. And it's a great time to get involved. You know your worth, and get to work.
Little things. We work with our clients all of the time. We actually shop our clients. We've been known to phone the business to ensure that, you know, it starts with that front desk, that person answering the phone, or that person who is greeting you when you walk into a business. Man, those are your most important positions, truly, because we tell our clients all of the time, we can bring them to you. What you do with them once they arrive is completely on you. So we do encourage people to do that. The other thing I want to talk about is we've had people come through our front doors, and Whitney and I were talking about this before we went live today. We've had people come in and say, hey, I have this great idea. I'm starting this business. And by the way, here's my bank account, and you can just send all the money here when people buy it, or they're looking for me, or they want to do business with me. Well, if we had that talent, my friend, we probably wouldn't be doing this Facebook Live. We'd be in, like, you know, some exotic place right now. But here's the real deal. And here's something that this broadcast is about. This is something that we can all relate to. You have to work your business. Reiterating what Whitney just said, you have to work your business, and more along the lines of every single day. What are you doing to improve what it is that you are offering people? Have you written a book? Are you out trying to get it in every mom and pop? You have to watch out for the Walmart effect. I've heard that sometimes if you go too large, too fast, and you can't meet demand, there could be some trouble there. But you have to think about, okay, what am I doing to position myself? Are you reaching out to influencers? Are you reaching out to those who have blazed the trail, who have done it better and before you? Are you making connections? Are you planning those reading nights? You know, if you've invented something, if you have a technique, whatever it is that you have, find your audience. And like Whitney said, we can help you do that from time to time, but you have to physically find them, put yourself in front of them, link yourself to them, really not being an annoyance, but really asking for advice. People are flattered when you do that. But you have to work your business. We are here to give you those tools. And imagine if we give you a bomb link that you can share. It's a video production, or you've got huge numbers because we've built you a great social media following, or every time somebody Googles this, you come up. Those are wins. But the real key to winning your game is owning it. And you have to pound the pavement and pick up the phone and send those emails every day.
And, you know, that's a trust thing. For your business, you are the one that's building the relationships. You're the one in front of them. So if a lot of times, if they don't hear it from you first, it's almost an insult. We never want to do that. So you have to work just as hard. There is no marketing strategy or buzzword that is going to take a bad product and make it good. It is always going to catch up to you. So you may have some short-term gains, but in the end, you're going to lose. So build your trust, build your relationships, and build your product or your service.
That's a good idea. You know, the other thing that I'm hearing a lot about these days, and I get very excited about it actually, the side hustle, baby. You know, if you've ever wanted to write a book, if you've ever wanted to consider higher education, you want to learn a foreign language, you know, you want to learn whatever skill it is, this is your time. It is right here in front of you. There is an opportunity here. And I'm not talking about spending a lot of money. I'm talking about doing some research, and just bettering yourself. A lot of times we can get wrapped up in self-pity, and we can be concerned, and we all have those concerns. That's what's happening right now, is we're all in the same boat. So I can assure you that together we are stronger, and we'll be better, and we'll come out of this thing even better than we were before. But the other thing I would encourage you to do, the side hustle, we've talked today about just really investing in your company, and doing the best that you can for your company, and looking at all facets of it, no matter how small you think it is. Sometimes those are the most important parts. But also really start to ask yourself, don't be afraid to sit down and say, what was working? What can I do better? And then define success. I say it all the time. If you can see it, you can be it. Decide where you want to go. I mean, what's enough? When is it enough? Is it ever enough? And then you have to be prepared, rebounding this whale of a ball that's been thrown to us. Rebound that ball and really make it count. I mean, even from half court, can you imagine the crowd goes wild? Do I need to stop?
There's no crowd. It's social distancing.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But anyway, here's the deal. Just, we want people to be better. That's why we're doing this every week. I mean, we're forced to put on some makeup and look halfway decent for you, but we just want to be an encourager, because we're in the same boat. I mean, we're doing what we do every day. And I tell you, it's great, because sometimes when you pick up the phone or you see that person on a Zoom conference, it just restores some sense of confidence that the world is still going round. We're all still here, and we're ready to go.
I was kind of joking about it, but I feel like with clients, I have more face-to-face with them now than ever before. We are very much behind the scenes, and our clients, we've built an incredible trust system to where they do let us, here's my message, go with it. Clients that we typically don't meet with, we've probably sat in a Zoom conference more over the past month than we have, and it's just human connection. So even if you are a behind the scenes business, or even if your job title is very much behind the scenes, get out in front of people. They want to see people, and they want to connect. So this is a great opportunity to do that. I do want to, since it is Free Marketing Friday, and talking about bettering ourselves and investing some time right now, I kind of want to touch on Google My Business. We call them no-click searches. Really, I see a lot of agencies really pushing website, and your website does have to be great, because you have to deliver online customer service. You have to deliver a lot of information, and you have to have access to that information for whatever the need of that user is. So your website has to be top notch. But I don't want people to forget or to overlook the power of Google My Business. If you search a business right now, or a service especially on a mobile device, you'll see a lot of local results. You'll see Google My Business pages pushing organic traffic down further and further, and even paid ads. So Google My Business is a huge revenue generating machine. It can be, if you use it. The trick is you cannot look at Google My Business, even though it is a business listing, it is so much more than that. And if you treat it as a business listing, you will lose. So take some time, invest, and really look at it. Use it as a social channel.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
You can post, you can do question and answers, you can send messages, plus everything that your website does. But you have to use it like a social channel. If you use it like a business listing, it's not going to do anything for you. Ask people for reviews on Google. You can send a direct link, but you have to be using that. I mean, we're looking at 47% of searches on Google are now no click. So they look at it, they see a local business, they call them directly from those listings. They don't even go, 47% of people don't even go to a website. And that jumps up to 60% when you go to a mobile device. So the importance of Google My Business is, I cannot stress it enough. And if you don't understand it, you don't know, reach out to us. We can help you. There are online services that say, we're going to optimize this, and they copy and paste everything, and then they don't go back in and check it. It is not it's not a channel, it's not a listing where you can just leave it alone. It is a living, breathing search machine and can be great for revenue generation, but you have to use it like a social channel. So I think that today, I want you to, if you have not claimed your Google My Business listing, go in, claim it. If you are lost, let us know. But that is a big, big win for you right now.
I would like for you to recommend my business, Whitney. Would you
recommend?
Yeah, and 5 stars preferably.
I mean, I'll try.
Okay. Here's the thing. We've also talked about this. You look within your business, no matter how small, how large. Some of you do have marketing teams as part of the building, as part of your team. If you don't, and we've seen lately where a lot of these big companies are looking for, they call it an internal marketing group, but here's what I would say. Why don't you corporations consider outsourcing these services? It's not permanent. You can give us a try, because here's what's going to happen. A lot of times you have somebody sitting in an office and they're lost because they don't really have the tools that they need. We would love to work with your existing team, or we would love to work with, somebody, if you want to bring them on staff so they can keep us in line. But man, why not go direct? Because we can provide you all those services that you need, and you're going to have. I know that all of our clients, they've never been more thankful than now, because we have their back. They have so much to deal with, but it's nice to know that we're keeping them ever present, their social voice anyway.
Very true.
Very true. You look lovely today. Did I tell you that?
Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt.
I like that vest. Is that a new logo?
This is called swag or merch, hashtag swag. You want to be cool with the cooler generation. I did my own nails yesterday too.
Yeah.
How resourceful we all are now.
Did you do a video on how?
You know what? I have done some videos, but I don't think you want that how-to. It's pretty ugly. I ain't gonna lie.
And we don't want to hurt the reputation.
Correct. Hey, curious. What are some of the nice things you've seen this week? What are the ways that people are helping one another that you've noticed out there?
Especially being in Illinois, with the news of the extended shelter in place.
I'm going to pretend like you didn't say that. And I actually just pretended like it didn't happen.
It happened. And it's a lot of businesses are down, and really feeling that pressure. But again, there are so many ways that you can take this time and build your business. Even though people aren't coming through the door, you are going to be able to get back out there. And there may be revenue streams that you're just overlooking because we get siloed into that. We've always done it this way. Mm-hmm. So we need to go ahead and shift our mindset now, because how we used to do it will never go back. We're in a completely changed society in the matter of 2 months. So we really need to pay attention to the trends and the data and the statistics, because these are changes that are going to stick around. Online customer service, we were already seeing where we don't want to pick up the phone. Now, for the past 2 months, a lot of businesses were not prepared with online customer service. So I think just about anything you can go on, and they're saying we're seeing unexpected wait times. You can sit on the phone on hold for easily an hour on a lot of these businesses. So the ability to, in multiple places, online, on your website, on Google My Business, on your different social channels, having people to answer questions, and you're like, oh, how am I going to do that? My staff is all laid off. Call us. we can help with that, because you don't want to be in the situation where you've completely disappeared for 2 months,
Yeah.
or however it lasts. So just always be putting yourself out there. How are you going to come back? We need to start thinking now on when we get back into the swing of things. What is that going to look like? How do I advertise? How am I going to get that message across? And really, let's tell people what we're learning from things.
Yeah.
If you look back and you're like, I was really siloed into, that's how we've always done things. And but now I realize that there could have been some changes. Let's share that, share with people. And that's really what I've seen. I've seen a lot of people looking back and reevaluating after they're looking at their business and where they've spent their money, and how they've interacted with people.
Yeah.
And we want that to be a positive experience. So if you're like, man, we really grew at an exponential rate over the past year, and we weren't able to give the customer service to people that we're known for. Now is the time to reach out to those people. Let's build back that trust. Let's build up those relationships. Those people are still there.
Yeah.
We want to reach out to them, and we want to continue building that relationship. And now is a great time to do that.
Yeah. I'm going to encourage you to still perform those acts of kindness as well. We hear about it now. You got a little extra money in your pocket. You're wanting to make a difference. It's more important than ever for you to look for those opportunities to make a difference. Personally, some of the things I've done, there are fabulous makeup artists online who haven't been able to work. So they'd love to give you makeup tips, and you could Venmo them, whatever you choose. There's one guy in particular I'm fond of. His name is Derek Cook, and a well-known musician who's been on the Spiel a couple of times. And he's also a phenomenal mixologist, bartender type guy. And he's doing cocktails with Derek now. So we're looking to maybe make some connections with some brands or some businesses in the area. If you feel like you can align with any of these individuals, man, you can pretty much name your price, and they'd want to work for you and with you. And that's what it's about right now, is just building those relationships. And, the other thing before we go, do we limit this show to 30 minutes? Is that what it is?
People will
We're
get
over,
sick
man.
of looking
We've already
at
gotten a hard wrap. Sometimes they say stretch in television. Now it's like, wrap it up.
I know we get going, and we've got to learn to condense.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we both like to talk a lot. But the other thing, I'll give you a little takeaway. Let's do two things, okay? Last week we agreed that we just give them all this free marketing advice Friday, okay? Okay, you with me?
I'm still here. I haven't disconnected yet.
Nuts. Yeah. See, I told you I lost my ability to see the screen at the beginning of this thing, so I really love it. What I'd like to do is, if there's a business watching, or if you have a friend who owns a business could use our help, let's go ahead and offer that free reporting for maybe the first request that we get. Whitney?
Yeah, it's important for people to know where they stand and just have that baseline. Right now, we're seeing traffic and engagement on pages at an all-time high. So it's literally something that we have never been able to see. And now we have those opportunities that have just not been there in the past. So let's take advantage of those opportunities, and let's find your industry, your message, and make it relevant. That's what we do. That's what our content does. It makes you relevant, your services relevant, so that you can help people. And that's what we can do for you.
Connectability, that being approachable, it's so important. So right now, maybe the first request we get, we need your business name. You can send us a private message, or go ahead and put your company name in the comments here, and we're happy to take a look. It also helps, this is what you will want to private message us. It also helps if you could give us 2 companies, individuals you deem competitors, because then we can look at maybe how you're stacking up against others in the industry, and it helps to show you who's doing what in the game. One of the coolest things that we've implemented that I really like, and then we're going to have to wrap it up. I really like it when you can set these real-time alerts, and say if I'm neck and neck, or, I know this other company's doing as well as I am, and there's room for us both to do well. But I love to see where they're spending their money, how they're spending their money. And we can set those alerts. And anytime they place an ad, anytime they place a buy, we know where, we know why, we know if it was effective, we know if we ever want to do it ourselves. So those are some things that I think are super, super good. Also, my closing words, and then I'm going to let you close this week, because last week I tried to do that from a distance. I bid you adieu, Whitney. And I think
yeah, that disaster. I recall.
Here's a question, okay? If you knew you couldn't fail, what's the first thing you'd do?
Well, I do know, but I don't think I would share right now.
Really? Well, I'd like to know off camera. How about that? Maybe we'll share next week, okay?
Okay.
How do you think we did? Let's review our show. How did we do?
We were live a lot faster. We worked out some technical problems, so I feel like we get an A today.
It was a win, my friend. It was a win. It's an A.
This is now my second live video.
Really?
My second, yeah.
Second.
So
you look good. I really love it.
I'm working on it. Again, stepping outside of your comfort zone. I'm doing it. You can do it.
You know those side hustles I was talking about? So we've got the spiel, which we've done one spiel live, and we took our viewers to Boston, and Tim Estilos, he's a phenomenal film critic. He showed off for like an hour, all his pictures with Charlize Theron, and then you've got Adam Sandler. Charlize Theron.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me. But I think
obviously you can tell we don't hang, because I didn't know. I didn't know that. But all the big names, and what he's doing, his side hustle is he's always helped children. He's gone into children's hospitals and for an hour, made them forget about what they're dealing with. And he would do art projects and artwork with them. And he started doing some of that online. So I encourage you to find him, Tim Estilos. But, I've got that book that I wrote years ago, and it's been in the barn ever since the spiel was born. But Timmy the Tractor, I think I'm going to break it out. We're going to read that. Should take about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So I know our audience will be super excited about that. But, anything we can do to entertain the folks. Yeah.
I agree. If you're reading it, it will probably be another 20 minutes of you introducing it, and then another 20 minutes in closing. If I were to read it, it would be a very quick read, closed book, off screen.
But then you got to take into consideration, the kids are grabbing the book and you're trying to show the pictures, and so
that's my life. I have a 3-year-old, so that is my life. I'm trying to read a book. It's so frustrating. I'm really into it. I've got my character voices all going, and then she's like, "I'm done with that book." It hurts my feelings a little bit, because I've really put a lot of time into creating these characters, and then she switches gears. She's like, "No, I want to read this one." Yeah. And I haven't practiced those characters.
Milestone for the little one this week. I swear I heard a couple of sentences and such coming out of her this week, right?
She does. Evie says, "Hey, Ella." She crawls through the house screaming for Ella. And uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she's added that. A lot of times, uh-oh, Ella. So she does tattle.
Uh-oh. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, that's it. Is that a wrap?
That's it. So focus on your quality over quantity, and get on Google My Business.
I love it. I love it.